What is up, everybody? It is D to the J with the roll away, and I have not been up here in a little bit. Um, so I kind of decided at the last minute, I said, when am I going to do this? Because I've got a busy week coming up next week. I got a lot of things that I'm getting ready to plan for, a lot of things I'm getting ready to do. Um, and let me just do one thing here. Give me a second. Hold on. I want to fix this real quick. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. I thought I had done that already. All right, so what I want to talk about today is, and I realize I haven't been up here in a while, so bear with me because it's going to take me a second to get into this. I was trying to figure out how I was going to present this, and I don't want to present it in any other way I've done it before because I've done a topic on this before, but this really hit me to the point where I said, you know what, I've got to say something about this because so many people suffer from it, and it's one of these things that I think it's a combination of society. I think it's a combination of parenting. I think it's a combination of the environment that you're in. I think it's a combination of where you are in life and where you're expected to be through pressure. Okay? What I want to talk about today is finding value within yourself, but truly understanding what your self-worth is. So by the end of this video, no matter how long this video takes, at the end of this video, I want you to get something out of this to be able to say, you know what, this makes a lot of sense. I need to reevaluate the way things are going. Not so much in your life, because I don't want to come off as saying, you're doing this wrong, because that's not what I'm trying to do. Okay, a lot of people, when you start out, and it always starts out at that young, impressionable age, between 12 months and 12 years. That age right there is the most impressionable age, or impressionable, I would say, like, to where you can leave an impression on somebody from, I would even go as high as 15. From 12 months of age to 15 years old, you can leave the biggest impression on somebody, negatively or positively. And I go back, and I've said this. One of the reasons that I started doing My CP Does Not Define Me is to show people that if you have a story to tell that is valuable, understanding, and people can relate to, and you need to get your story out there, this is the part of this show that I want to take and I want to mold from just saying it, and I want to actually get people to believe it, because I think it's one thing to tell someone that you're worth something to them, but if they don't see their self-worth, all you're doing is beating a dead horse and running into a brick wall. That's all you're doing. And the hard part is, when you're younger, whether you have, a mother, a father, both, a grandparent, whether you're adopted, all of these factors play in to what life is all about. Your environment is crucial to your upbringing and how you're going to feel about yourself. Now, I say that, and I get this. How is that possible? Because if you hear negative every freaking day, if you hear you're never going to be anything, you never do anything right, you got to do this, you got to take out the trash, you got to clean the house, you got to clean the bathroom, you got to do. I need. Walk the dogs, walk the dogs, walk the dog. Take care of your sister, your brother, da, 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 da. There has got to be a time or a point where you start focusing on you. Okay? So from 1 year to about 15, everything that happens to you, you're trying to find yourself. You're trying to find out what you want to be, what you want to do, where you want to go, how you want to live. You're trying to train yourself. You're trying to learn all these life skills. And some people are lucky enough to go out into the real world and see things and do things and travel and get a job. Some people are lucky enough to be able to move out on their own. That they have parents that allow them to succeed and don't shelter them. Now, when I say that, there's always a need for some sheltering, and I'm not going to say sheltering is totally wrong, but sheltering someone for too long or too much is a bad idea. Because what you're actually doing, you're not helping them, you're smothering them, and you're stunting their growth. You're stunting their growth by sheltering them. Okay? If you expect them to stay in the house all the time and take care of you and do what you need done, how does that help them? How does that make the person that's doing all this stuff grow? What do they see in his or herself? So, how is self-worth obtained? What is self-worth? The value within oneself. If you are in an atmosphere where parents are fighting, yelling, screaming, drinking, smoking, doing other stuff they don't need to be doing, and you are presented in that negative atmosphere all the time, eventually it's going to start affecting you. Because you're going to think that it's okay to do the things that you see. See, we learn by seeing, we learn by doing. As infants and as toddlers, we learn by seeing and doing and imitating and watching. And little kids pick up everything. You ever stub your toe or walk into the wall and first thing you say is, "Mother," out loud, and then the first thing your 2-year-old does is repeat that, and you say, "Don't say that." Well, he or she heard you say it. He or she heard you say it, but yet it happens. Sometimes the person may not mind doing this for others, even though it seems right. And I'm not saying on occasion. I'm not saying, once in a while. I'm not saying that. If someone comes in and says, "Would you please do this?" or "Can you please do this?" I think, chores are expected, especially when you live with your parents. And I think some things are expected. I know you have to pay rent. I know you know you have to do chores. I know you're expected to do certain things around the house. But you should not be demanded to a point where they break you down to where it's all the time. Okay? So that's when we get into the negative atmosphere that I'm talking about. When they don't let up. When it's a constant, you don't do. Even when you do something, they tell you how wrong you do it or how it's supposed to be done. And there's a difference in teaching somebody how to do something and verbally blasting them every freaking day. Because pretty soon, you're going to get tired of being verbally blasted every day, or you're going to become numb to it and it's not going to affect you. Well, when you say it doesn't affect you, that's not true. Because what you do is you end up turning it inward and attacking yourself and killing yourself from the inside. So, how do you find self-worth in a negative atmosphere? By surrounding yourself with positive people. Now, when I say that, I'm not talking about positive fake people. I'm talking about positive real people that don't necessarily tell you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. When someone loves you enough to tell you you are worth everything to them, you should value that. Because if that comes out of my mouth, one of the things that I was raised up on, and I love my family for this. My grandparents, God rest them, my mom, my brother. I value my word, and I don't base anything on a lie. I tell the truth right out. It is what it is. That's where it comes from. That's who I am. That's what I'm always going to be. And the thing about it is, if you do that, it's a lot easier to go through life because you don't have to remember what lie you told, why you told it, and keep covering it up. When somebody is verbally abused all the time and you're told what they don't do right or what they have to do, or why don't you effing do this, or why don't you effing do this, or you effing piece of this, or you effing piece of that, and they just keep bombarding you with all this negative energy all the time, pretty soon it's going to start wearing you down, especially if you're at a young age. It leads to suicide, overdose, cutting, anorexia. I mean, there are thousands of things that negative harassment and negative energy can do to people when it's constant. You know, and I for a fact know two things. You have to have positive reinforcement in your life. Christina, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Toxic positivity is something you have to be careful of. But real positivity is something everyone needs in their circle of support. This is exactly what I'm talking about right here. When you have a group that you can go to or people that you can go to that's going to give it to you straight, but they're going to be there for you. And let me say this right off the bat. Everybody in this world, I don't care who you are, I don't care if you're 886, 893. Everybody makes mistakes. Now, the problem is when people make mistakes, they confuse disrespect with not respecting themselves. Just because you choose not to do something does not make you disrespectful. Someone may tell you that you're disrespectful because you don't do something, but let me explain something to you. That is not disrespect. When something is taken out of context, that is disrespectful. When somebody is blasted because they don't do something or how wrong they do it, that is disrespectful. And I don't care if you're a daughter, a son, you give respect to your parents, but in the same turn, parents should give respect to their children. And once their children are no longer children and they reach the age of 18 and they still live with their parents, the parents need to realize, yes, it may be your house and your roof, but you also have to respect your son or daughter. Because here's the thing. she or he doesn't have to be there. And I think that's what a lot of parents forget, because a lot of parents will rely on their children because they think this: I took care of you when you were little, now it's your turn. Whoa, wait a minute. Wait a minute. There may be some truth to that. But what about her life? What about his life? How is this person going to find themselves if they're busy taking care of you all the time? And if all you do is say, go, 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 do, no, please, no, thank you, no, nothing, that is toxic. And that's a dangerous level of communication, because when you get used to that and you think it's okay, it happens and you say, oh, it doesn't bother me. It's okay. It is what it is. No big deal. Please don't think like that. That sickens me. Because I will tell you, this is why I love my mom so much. My mom is 67 years old. And she has never once put me down. She has never once cussed at me. She's never once made me feel inferior or made me feel like I couldn't do anything. My mom has supported me. Now, she's disciplined me and she's spanked my butt a couple times, but she's never made me feel inferior or small or 2 inches tall, like I don't need to exist, like I don't belong in her house. You can't eat here. You can't drink here. No, she's never said that to me. She said, if you live in my house, you pay rent. I will set it up. We'll work it out. I lived with my mom for a while, about a year. Then I went off to college and did what I needed to do. Great comment, Kyle. Toxic positive. Come on, CP. Toxic positivity is unresponsive, while real positivity is grounded, family in the actual situation. You know, I love that, because I think we've got to look at ourselves with a different pair of eyes. Okay, if we don't value ourselves, then how can we expect anybody else to value us? Let me answer that question. When I look at a person, I am not looking at just their outer beauty, how long their hair is, how brown their eyes are, how tall they are, how, what clothes they wear, what they decide not to wear. I'm not looking at all that, because to me, it comes from in here as to who the person is. Every show that I ever do, what I try to do is I try to relate to the guest that is the person that they are. And I don't try to change them to be something they're not, because the problem with expectations is a lot of times you can fall short of them and then people get angry. Parents do, children do, and it's different when it's a child and a parent. Because when it's a child and a parent, that is your parent. Okay? Some children want to be their parent's friend, and some people need that discipline. But I don't think you have to discipline so hard that you shut out their heart and you shut out their feelings and you shut out what they want and what they want to be in their life. Because it is important to take that in consideration when you're valuing the person that you want them to be. And so many parents make the mistake of wanting their children to follow their dreams and forgetting about their children's dreams and what their children want. Okay? Because once you reach a certain age, you're not a child anymore. When I turned 21, my mom treated me like a 21-year-old. And I was an immature SOB. Let me let you know, I did some stuff I shouldn't have done. I fucked up a lot. Okay? I'll go ahead and tell you. I screwed up a lot. And a couple of times, more than a couple of times, my mom and brother saved my butt. My grandparents saved my butt. But you know what? I learned from that. I learned from that. And I wasn't held in a corner and beaten to death, told, you stupid mother, you don't know nothing. You'll never be nothing. How can you be so stupid? I was never treated like that. When I made a mistake, I was punished. Or when I did something I wasn't supposed to do, I was punished. But I was never made to feel small or driven into the ground. Some parents expect their children to take care of them all the time. And I'm sorry, I've got to say this. Once you reach adulthood, once you hit 21, technically, your life is your life. But no matter how many times I say that, I'm not trying to say leave your parents and don't ever help them. That's not what I'm trying to say. Everybody needs a little help sometime. Everybody needs a little something sometime. I get that. I'm not saying abandon your parents and never help them. But sometimes you got to stand on your own 2 feet. Understand what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to stand up for yourself. And sometimes that's really hard to do because you've never done it before. You've never put your foot down and said, this is what I want to do. And the first time it happens, it'll scare the shit out of you because you don't know what your parents are going to do. And it's one of those things, talking about self-worth. When you find growth within yourself to be able to decide what you want, and this is a big decision, when you commit to it, when you commit to something that you really want, that you love, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job, whether it's a new career, whether it's financial, whether it's spiritual, whether it's spatial, whether it's whatever it is, whatever you're committing to, that is your decision. And no one has the right to take that away from you because they can't. See, in my 41 years of life, I learned 2 things. Number one, you're not going to please every fucking body. I'm going to be very real. You cannot please everybody. And when you go around your whole life trying to please everybody, you know what you're going to do? You're going to end up being miserable. Because you're living your life for everybody else except for you. So I want to go back to what I was saying about being a child. Self-worth starts when you fall and you scrape that knee for the first time. When you fall and you hit your butt the first time. And your parents come running, and if it's your dad, sometimes you'll hear, hey, don't you cry. Toughen up. You be a man. Big boys don't cry. Look, I have shed more water out these eyes right here. I make Noah look like Michael Phelps in the swimming pool. I've shed enough water that Noah from Noah's Ark can swim around the world, because when I feel it, I'm going to let it flow. I'm going to let it flow. Men ain't supposed to cry. Men ain't supposed to feel. Men supposed to be tough. Fuck all that shit. I'm tough as hell. But I'm going to tell you right now, my emotions, I live by that. That's what drives me, because my heart is my guide. That's what makes me the man I've become today. Because you know why? My mother had to be the man for me because my father weren't there when I was little. I said it. My mother had to be the man for me because my father wasn't there when I was little. I didn't have a father to pick me up and tell me everything was going to be all right, and go to baseball games with, and go bowling with, and play football with. It took us a long time to reconnect. It took us a long time to realize where we were. And I had to find all that. But in that growth, I found that worth within myself first, because I am valuable. But I'm not just valuable, people. I'm purely valuable. And so are you. Everybody up here right now that's watching this video, any remarks that are given to me, I usually receive them only, accept information, negative or positive or constructive criticism, from trusted sources. But see, life don't always happen that way, because you can't trust everybody either. Because you got people that are going to tell you, I'm your friend. I'm there for you. I'll never let you down. And they the first motherfucker to stab you right in the back. And see, that's why life experience is so important. If I couldn't live with my mom till I was 40, because I'd pull my hair out, break my legs. My mom would drive me crazy. I love my mom to death, but my mom can't sit still. My mom got to have something in her hand. My mom got to be doing a puzzle, washing a dish, scrubbing a floor, talking to an invisible dog. She don't do that for real. I'm just saying. She got to be doing something. I got to strap my mama to the couch to sit her down. But I love this right here, Kyle. See, this shit right here. Let yourself feel so you learn how to process them. I love that. I could keep that comment right there up this whole damn time, because that's one of the best things that you can do. Allow yourself to feel and be okay with where you are in your emotional sense. Because you know what? It's yours. It's yours. Okay? And I'm going to say this, and I don't mean to disrespect nobody when I say it, but I'm going to step on some toes here. Trust is earned through actions that back up the word. Woo! Kyle, you need to come up here, boy. Hold up a minute. I'm about to, ooh, Jesus, Lord. Hold up. Kyle, don't go nowhere. Don't you go nowhere. Hold up, Kyle. Hold up. I'm about to bring your little happy butt right up here. Give me a minute. Because let me just, ooh, Jesus. I ain't even playing. Sure enough, I'm about to. Let me search him. Hold up. I'm up. And if, ooh, boy. Give me a second, y'all. I just sent you a link, Kyle. I did. Let me say this though. Do not hide from your emotions. Do not hide from your emotions. I think too many people try to turn their emotions off because they're scared of what they might do. And they're scared of what their emotions do to them. Yeah, baby. Yeah, that's right.
Hello.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Got the VP up and down. Look, after that last comment, my man, I had to bring you up here. I'm sorry, but you said something, and I want to go back. Trust is earned through the actions that back up the words spoken. How often do you see, and you're, remind me,
28.
28. So you just turned 28, and you live at home, right?
Oh, I live next door to my parents. They rent the house next door,
Okay.
so I pay them rent. But I mean, so I kind of get the best of both worlds. I get to have my own space, like,
Mhm.
but also, hey mom, I need some help. Come, walk the 10 feet.
So let me ask you this, because and this is one of the reasons why I brought you up here. See, y'all gotta understand. When he hit that last ball, I said, oh, I can't let him sit there. I was trying to find somebody to do this video with, and I didn't know who was going to be up here. I saw Christina up here, and I'm really glad she was, because I was going. I don't know if she's still up here or not, but I was gonna bring her up. Now, Charles Wilton said something right here that I like too. Remember what I said at the end of my documentary? I'm happy I lost because now I know how to lose. So again, we talk about growth in finding worth in yourself. Nothing in this world is worthless because it's in the world. You understand what I mean by that, VP?
Yeah, I mean, I can relate to the lacking of self worth. Just growing up being disabled and not really knowing how to handle being disabled, not wanting to be disabled, and then realizing, hey, I'm kind of lucky I get to be here.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I'm lucky I have the mobility that I do and the people that care about. Like, it took a long, long time, but you realize you have value because you have something to bring to the table. Takes a while to discover it sometimes, and sometimes you need the right people to pull it out of you. Um, but we all have it within us. We just have to figure out how we tap into that
All
because
right, so that's you see you slid right on into my next point. I ain't even had to say nothing. How did you find it? How did you find it?
a lot of trial and error. I mean, it's not something that you just. There's no manual.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Finding my self worth was different than how you found yours. I mean, because we all have different people in our lives, different experiences. So it's really about just being brave enough. Well, for me personally, it was about me being brave enough
mm,
to show people, like, this is me, Kyle. Hi. Like, I have cerebral palsy, but I'm really fun and I like people and I want to get to know people.
mm-hmm,
And the more I was able to let people see me for who I was,
mm-hmm.
then then I was able to attract those types of people that were cheering for me, rooting for me in my corner, giving me real positivity. To go back to the top,
See, that's what I was waiting for right there. Now there's a piece in there though, and this is where everybody struggles. I said everybody, okay. I'm gonna just throw the hand up too. We should just talked about this Friday.
yeah, and that's what this conversation made me think back to that group conversation
Mm-hmm.
and that question you
Christina,
answered.
I sent you a link on Messenger. You might as well jump on up in here too, cause it's been a long time since we had the three amigos up in this mug. We might as well do it now. Okay, but I want to ask a question because this is difficult for a lot of people. And when I was younger, I thought I had found myself. I thought I was where I was supposed to be because I thought I was supposed to be the center of attention. I thought I was supposed to be the center of the room. I thought that I had to project loudly for everybody to hear me. I thought I had to do something crazy to make everybody like me. I thought that I had to make everybody like me. Hell no.
Yeah, not everybody likes you for you. They like what you can do for them or give them. So
Mm-hmm.
by being loud, we're advertising, hey, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. Ooh, what can I take from that person? By being,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
quiet, you get the people that are actually paying attention, that are actually looking at you.
How long, what age I'm going to ask this now. Watch what happens. Because the Kyle 2 years ago that I knew, couldn't answer this question, but watch. How long did it take you to find yourself, and when did you know that you had? What age?
Well, I want to be clear. There's still a version of Kyle that's not discovered yet.
Okay.
There's still, I'm still working at it. To the place that I am now, I would say maybe probably about 2 years ago, if we're being honest, because it's when I really just started, we found the group and all this, and the right people came in. Hi, Christina. And, it just, you guys have been a real part of that.
So was it something specific? Was it not necessarily a life-changing moment? And I'm gonna answer this question too, because I'll tell you when I was able to find myself. But was it one moment for you? And Christina, I'll get to you in a second. It has been a long time since the two of these people have been up here with me. It has been a long ass time since the three of you have been up here. And too damn long, I'm gonna be honest. Because when this video started, I knew it was gonna be powerful. But I said, I'm just gonna go, because I really didn't know how to approach it. Because so many people think they're worthless or they don't have self-worth because other people are so busy just beating the living crap out of them mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. They're like a pile of goo going, well, I don't know. Like, I sent Christina a video yesterday of a cat. And he's diving into this catnip and he's freaking out because he's like, no, it's mine. It's the best day of my life. And you think because that cat has got this catnip that everything's off the table. The cat's going to go crazy. Everybody's going to go crazy. Hey, Justin. Hey, Melissa. This people jumping on here and comment like crazy now. So let me just, was it a smack you in the face moment that you
For me, no, not really. It was just kind of gradual. I mean, it's kind of like a snowball. Once you get that first little bit, then you start realizing, oh, I can do more. I am more than what I'm letting myself be. For me, it just kind of grew and grew and grew, and it's still growing. Because I don't think we ever stop growing, or ever, at least I don't want to stop growing or learning.
True, I agree with you. But I like what you said at the beginning. There's still a version of Kyle out there that I don't even know yet, that you're still trying to find. Let me go to Christina, because here's the thing. Knowing Christina, I've known Christina as long as I've known Kyle. When I first met Christina, I said, this girl's got everything together. She knows exactly what she wants, exactly where she's going. She doesn't mess up. And then you hit that hole and you're like, oh, shit, what do I do now? What was your Kyle's 27, Christina, you're what, 20?
Kyle's 28, I'm 27. We're not even really a year apart. But
What was your dynamic moment to say, when did you find yourself or your self-worth, or when did you know? What was it an issue for you?
I think it was at some points. I mean, I think a lot of me figuring out that I was worth it was when I started my first job. And I mean, those first years were really tough, but like it came to a point where it's like, this is what I was meant to do, and I was like, I finally allowed myself to admit that I was good at it after a certain amount of time. And that gave me a lot of, self-worth and like a good positive feeling. Because it's like, yeah, I wanted to do this my entire life, basically. And here I am doing it. Yay me,
I can remember a moment for you, especially. You were pushing so hard. You were digging so hard. And you just finally broke. And it was like, I can't get there. I'm going to just, oh my God. And I remember that moment. And I'm like, Christina, do you realize you're good enough right where you're at? And you kind of went, oh. You remember the conversation I'm talking about? You were working on your thesis for to finish school, to finish,
Yeah.
and you're just I can't, I gotta get this right, and you're falling down and you're sore and I'm like, Christina, whoa, take a step, whoa, stop.
Christina don't know the word stop, y'all.
And see, that's common with a lot of people. They just go, and they don't stop because they feel like I gotta get it done right now. I gotta finish it. I told somebody up here, you can fail a test 18 times, 17 times, but when you take it the 18th time and you pass it, hopefully she's still up here. That gratification is there, and you did it. You finished it. You got it in on time. You got everything notated, and then you had to get it reviewed. And then, when the Spain trip didn't go through, you were just, I mean, it was like, oh my God, my world is ending. Like everything just hit, but you had to take a different approach, and I love the approach that you took because you have to deal with shit in your own way, okay, and that's an honest statement. You can't not grieve or feel, as Kyle said earlier, when it's there. For me, I know when I found myself. I know when she's still here. She just turned the camera off for a second.
I'm gonna go plug in, and I've got a really unstable signal, so I'm gonna see if turning off my camera helps a little bit.
Okay, all right.
Glitching.
I want to say, man, I tell you what, when I got involved in martial arts and I started teaching, woo!
Yeah, you find the thing. You find your thing of like, this is for me. This is like going back to what Christina was saying about her job and realizing like, hey, I'm good at it. Like I didn't know for the longest time, and we talked about this a little bit on Saturday too. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. Mm-hmm. I knew I liked people. I like helping people feel good about themselves. And then I became a DSP, which is a direct support professional for people with physical and developmental disabilities. Mm-hmm. And for about the first 9-ish months, I was like, wow, like I loved it, but there was still that doubt of being like, can I do this? Like, am I, there was still that doubt of like, even though I'm disabled and there's things I can't do with this job because it can be a physically demanding job. And there are just some things that I can't do. And I finally realized like, if they were looking at the things I couldn't do, they wouldn't have hired me. So they hired me for all the things that I bring to the table. And like, that's when it was like, I'm good enough to be here. Like, I'm still here. And I think part of that was because the first job I ever had was grant based. The position was paid for through a grant. Mm-hmm. And the grant eventually ran out. And they told me, hey, we can no longer pay for your position here. Mm-hmm. So we unfortunately have to let you go. So then I got this job, and for about the first 9 months, I was like, they're going to find a reason to let me go, And then it was like, nope, I'm here. Like, I've gotten good comments. Like, they trust me. I'm good at my job. Like, I'm good at this job. And
how many times would you say, let's just say in the past 2 years, VP, let's just say in the past 2 years, how many times do you look at yourself and go, am I good enough for this? Am I going to be good enough for this?
Actually, several. I mean, even when I was trying to get my license, like it was, and that was in with the last 2 years. It was deciding, can I do this? Am I worthy of doing this? It's like, yes, I am. I can do this. And that it's a lot of it's a mental game, deciding what you deserve.
I think I became okay with myself and realized how worthy I was, not to put myself on a pedestal or anything, when I realized that not everybody's going to like you, DJ, and you got to be okay with that. You got to stop trying to pursue the dream of everybody liking you, Because man, I'm comfortable when I'm on stage, whether I'm singing or doing a presentation, or because I'm projecting, and it's skillful. It's like an endorphin for me. But I wanted thousands of people. But I'm also okay with the 8 people that's been up here tonight, because I started with 1, and then it jumped to 2, and then it jumped to 4, and then it jumped to 6, and then it jumped to 7, and then it jumped to 8. So something happens when you have a good technique. And I think the trick to finding self-worth is to really not put a handcuff on yourself and say, well, it's always been this way, so this is the way it's going to be. Because you've been in the same situation for so long that you don't see yourself getting out of it.
You lose sight of what your destination is. You get caught of where you get a good way to look at it is like it's a pit stop. You got a flat tire. Took a while to change the tire and get moving again.
Christina, right. Can you add anything to that?
I could, and then I lost my train of thought.
Oh, I did too when you brought in Christina. Something I thought about, you just mentioned like the 8 people. You make these shows. We do YouTube videos, content showing positivity, disability, all this stuff. I finally decided, and it worked out the best for me when I decided I'm meant to impact who I'm supposed to impact. So who's supposed to see these videos will see them.
Right.
And that's happened recently on a few of my videos. Like, wow, YouTube just randomly showed me this video, but I really needed to hear this today.
Right, and you've heard the expression, the people that are supposed to be here are going to be here.
Yeah.
And that's kind of...
But it works with when you're trying to be impactful, so to speak. Like, you can make...
Mm-hmm.
You can make an impact on millions, or you can make a huge impact on one. Like, it all matters.
Okay. There's 2 comments I want to read here, one behind the other. I think the problem is when I was young, I wanted to be worthy in the eyes of man, and now I just want to be worthy in the eyes of God, and that's my current truth. And I think that's a good way to be, because I'm going to tell you, man and woman are always going to let you down. Everybody's going to eventually let you down. The only person you can truly rely on to be true to yourself is yourself. And to be true in his eyes, that's all you need to worry about. Now, what I like here, though, with Justin and Melissa said this, finding oneself is an ever-evolving journey. Now, I want to touch on this for just a second. When we go through life, we start out totally helpless. All we do is 3 things. We cry. Well, 4 things. Couple things. We cry, we eat, we sleep, we poop. Okay? We can't hold our heads up. We can't rely on an alarm clock. We can't eat solid food. We got to be changed. Then we're little mobile slinkies, right? We start crawling around and getting into stuff. You got to baby-proof the house. And then we start putting stuff in our mouths, and we're crawling all over the mom's dad. Don't put that in your mouth. No, God, you're going to choke on it. And you just keep going, and you keep growing, and then you get 1 to 2 years old, and you start crawling around, and you start trying to find ways to get to the cookie jar, and you're going to stack the crates on top of each other after mama told you not to, and you're going to get on top of the crates because, damn it, when you want that cookie, you're going to get that cookie, right? But see, here's the problem with CP. Walking didn't happen. I walked, but I walked on crutches. But don't think I couldn't move around. See, when I was 3, I was cute. 3, 4, I was cute. I don't know what happened.
I don't know. So cute, DJ.
Thank you, Kyle. I don't know how to take that. I'm gonna just thank you. But see,
hey, Kim would call you cute.
Yeah.
Where's Kim at? Kim at?
Kim would call me a lot of things. That's what I like. But the funny thing about it is, we keep growing and we keep evolving, right? We keep we keep trying to find ways to get better, get bigger, get faster, get, and you're constantly growing, okay, until you hit that first wall and it knocks you back a little bit. And it usually happens into that 1 to 4 year old age range. The first time you get put in timeout, or the first time you really do something and you're like, oh my God, my mom is going to kill me. Like you have that thought of it's over. She's gonna take away my crutches and beat me with them. Whatever it is. But you get through it, and it's never as traumatizing as we make it as children, because we see it as the end all of all end alls. Like, what am I going to do? But self-worth to a child is so important. It starts so early.
And at the time, though, to that child, I mean, we all been there. That it feels that dramatic. Like we look back on it, like, oh, that's dramatic. But like when you're learning how to process emotions, especially as a young child, that does feel big. What parents look at as small things sometimes are big challenges because they've never faced those things as children.
How many times have you heard me say on my show, celebrate the small things? Celebrate them because they're important. Charles Wilton said this: I grew up in a foster home. I never saw myself having my own family. Having a son was the greatest wake up of my life. I mean, it didn't happen the way I saw, but I wouldn't have it any other way. See, that wake up moment when that and that's what I want. I want children. And I know I'm going to be a good father, because if it's a girl, she's not dating until she's 30. And if
my dad said that too, and you know what? I'm 20, and you know what he said to me last time I saw him? He says, "So, Scoot, any prospects?" So, turns out the whole "you're not dating until you're 30" thing isn't so true.
Well, I mean, and the thing about it is, I realized in the past 2 years, especially, that I want to leave something behind for my children, whether it's a female, whether it's a male, whether it's twins, whether it's triplets, whether it's one, whether it's 5. I want them to carry on the legacy that I have, but I want them to have their own dreams and their own realities and their own thoughts and their own journeys that they grow into. And I want to support them in that, because I don't want to be the kind of father that drops out of their life and drops in and drops out and drops in and drops out and gets married 19 times and has 12 babies by 6 different women and can't remember half their names. I mean, that's not what I want to do. I want to be the father that I know I'm capable of being, but I want to do that because I want my son or daughter to know that the father I'm going to be is the father that I'm going to be with all the love that I possess. And as long as that is handled and they realize, listen, I'm going to discipline you and you're going to get on my nerves sometimes and I'm going to tell you no, but it doesn't mean I don't love you. I think that people that are sheltered to a point miss out on a lot of life experience because they have to eventually be able to branch out on their own in some way. Now, I realize some disabilities are more severe than others, so some may not be able to, and I get that. But you still have to have your own special experiences where something means something to you. So somebody back me up on this one, because I'm trying really.
I mean, yeah, you have to have a certain amount of your own independence to build your self-worth too. And if you're constantly smothered, you don't get to see what you're truly capable of.
I love this. I love this, Justin. It's important to remember we are people first. Value comes in understanding. God created us to be who we are. disability is part of who he made us to be. I struggled for a long time that I was in a chair. I struggled for a long time that I had cerebral palsy. I had the woe is me attitude. I had the why did you do this to me attitude. I had the I want to play football. I want to do this. Until mom said, you know what? Get your ass out there and do it. And I went, okay. Because I was never restricted. Okay. I'll tell you a little story. When I was little, I was 2 years old and I was at the doctor's office, and there was a play area on the other side of the doctor's office, and I was in my mom's arms. I told her I want to get down and play. And mom said, all right, but if you get stepped on, don't come crying to me. And I'm crawling across the floor, and this lady walks in the doctor's office, and she looks at me with this god-awful look on her face because I'm crawling across the floor. I have CP, and I'm going toward the toys that I see. I stop, and I turn, and I look at the lady, and I say, ma'am, my name's DJ, and I have CP, but you can't catch it. And at that moment, that lady turned around, took her old ass to the other side of the waiting room, and sat down. And my mom realized, you know what, my son is going to be just fine in standing up for himself.
That's awesome.
Because I will be the person to stand up and fight for others, but I will very rarely fight for myself. And people don't know that. Well, I won't say all people don't know that. A lot of people in the group know that, especially after Friday. But and the point I'm trying to make is, I never got mad in school. I was in kindergarten. The first girlfriend I ever had was Jimiper. Okay, and her name was Jennifer, but I couldn't say Jennifer, so I called her Jimiper. And there was a little boy that was picking on Jimiper. So what did I do? I said, hey, you come over here so I can hit you.
Yeah.
And the teacher told my mom, she said, wait a minute, that's the first time I've ever heard DJ speak up like that. But he spoke up. And I'm glad he did, because the little boy got in trouble and Jimiper was okay. See, I was happy. See, I've been protecting my women for a long time. I'm a protector. That's what I do. That's the type of dog I am. That's the type of collar I wear. That's what I do. Okay? That's in my genetic makeup. I don't have to. That's what I'm worth. Okay? But someone out there that feels like it's never going to change, it's never been that way, so why worry about it? And I know who you are. I know who you are. I know exactly who I'm talking to right now. You got to realize that if you're worth it to me, that's got to mean something. But I want you to be worth it to you. When you look in the mirror, and I know how wonderful you are, I know how beautiful you are, I know what you mean to me, you got to understand that you're worth it. And
Exactly.
And no matter how many times other people going to tell you, you don't need to worry about that, kick them in the shin and run. That's it.
Your self-worth has to come from you. That's the key. Self. You don't get it from anybody else. You know, you shouldn't rely on someone else to tell you what you're worth. You have to know deep down that you are worth it.
But see, when you've been surrounded by negativity your whole life and not really gotten a strong dose of positivity from the support system that you're supposed to have, that's kind of hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes positivity isn't enough, though, because I mean, without getting too specific for the listeners, both of you know I have someone who I love dearly who doesn't feel worthy, who is struggling really hard, and you know, I'm like, you know, you can do this. You are capable. You are strong. And like, as much as I want them to like, as much as I want to like scream at them that this is true, like they have to decide that. Like I could throw it at them, but if they don't pick it up, I mean, you know, so that's the hard part right now. I mean, they're trying. They're in the process of trying now, because they finally decided, like, I'm going to try, and I want to make that a point. It
that's
takes a
so
lot. It
important
takes a lot of effort. You have
right
to
there.
try. You
Mhm.
can't
Yeah.
it's not gonna fall into your lap. It's really not. I mean, it's gonna be like
Mhm.
deciding. It's more than deciding. It's deciding and then doing things
Right.
to try and change the situation, the scenario,
Wow.
the environment. Like
And,
you,
and, and
and even
it's,
if it's
it's a big, scary decision.
mhm.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. There's a fear there. There's
Mhm.
always a fear,
When you
and
have been involved, Christina, bring your face back up here for the closing moments of the show, please.
all right, but you're gonna see my crazy hair.
Please, it's perfect. Stop worrying about it. When you have been involved in the same thing over and over and over, and all you're used to is the way it happens. Do this, walk the dog, take out the trash. You don't do this right. Did you clean this pot right? Did you mail this off? Did you bring me my water? Did you all the time? All the time. Eventually, that string is going to get real taut. And eventually, Lord Jesus, that some bitch gonna snap.
It will.
And when it
And
does, I want to be in the room where it happens. Because I'm telling you, I would buy tickets to that shit. Extra, extra, read all about it. I mean, just I can read the paper headline. Somebody went crazy, couldn't take it no more, and finally said, "You know what? I'm worth it. Stay the fuck out my life. Leave me alone." And sometimes that's where you got to get. And that's not disrespectful when your whole life you've been disrespected. Let me say that again. That's not disrespectful when you stand up for yourself. When you stand up for yourself because your whole life you've been disrespected. Somebody needs to hear this out there. I'm telling you, I know for a fact you sitting there going, well, it ain't going to change. It ain't going to change until you sit there and realize this has got to change. It's just like Kyle said. He can scream it to the top of his glass wearing yellow shirt, wearing tall lungs and say, you are worth it. But if the person that is fighting their inner self and everything else around them, their environment, their family, the toxicity, the negativity, the hatred, the CP, the battles, the inner, the outer. That's a lot. But there comes a time where you got to get in the middle of the room and you got to scrape all the shit from one side to the other. Tony, you had to make the tie-dye comment, didn't you? I was hoping you wouldn't, but okay, we're gonna go with that. That's fine. I'll let that slide. I want to see you succeed, okay? Because you have the ability to succeed because you have a strong mind, you have a loving heart, you have a beautiful smile, you have a great personality, you're a wonderful individual. I love you to the moon and back. Shoot, I love you to the solar system and back. And I know you see that, and I know you get that. But here's where I'm kind of peeling back the layer of the onion, get my head in the picture. So, as many times as I tell you, if it don't sink, it's just like the realization that you found out when you said, and I ain't gonna give no details, the grass is green over here. I said, are you sure? You said, mm-hmm. Grass is green over here. Okay. I just step back, let you do your thing. I said, this dude crazy. You done downgraded a Ferrari for a Pinto with no muffler. That's right, I said it. Can't even get your ass in the Pinto because so much trash in it. Seats don't go up. It chokes when it starts. It's not reliable. Then you say, you know what, I realize what I want. I thought you already knew. But you said something to me I ain't never going to forget. I had to realize what I want. That's it right there. That's the key.
Yeah. And before you move to the other side, look around and think, can I water the grass around me first? Because sometimes it's not really about why I have to change everything for everything to be okay. Sometimes it's just one thing that suddenly like clicks into place and you're like, wow, this is what I've been missing. This is what I've been looking for. And it wasn't really a super, super drastic change. It was important.
Yeah.
Russo said, can you water the grass around you? I
don't know where I come up with this. Sometimes I just
but seriously, like
you know what Kyle did? Kyle walked up to the plate. He said, "It's going out there." Bam! That shit was gone. That ball said, "Ah!" all the way to the wall. Referee was like, he signaled home run when that ball came off the bat. Can you water the grass around you before you
move? I mean,
Jesus, God Almighty! Woo!
And then you decide if there's too many weeds and all that, then you can move. But I mean, until you actually take to look and be like, does this need this big drastic change, or can I just make a couple of tweaks and some TLC and it's not that bad. I mean,
see this right here. It's a lot involved in that little statement, because I'm very easy to get along. I live by 3 rules. I don't lie. I do what I say I'm gonna do, and I'm not gonna go behind your back. Okay, you're either gonna and it took me a while to realize I'm gonna close out the show with this. It took me a while to realize I'm okay whether you like my white happy ass or not. Okay. Look, I'm going to be in my chair. I'm going to be fat and happy, slender and happy, muscular and happy, a martial artist and happy, whether you like me or not. But the one thing you're not going to disrespect is my girl. You're not going to disrespect my woman. You're not going to take her to that level, because I will come after you. I will come after anybody that disrespects my girl. I will come after anybody that disrespects my woman. I will tear them into a million pieces, and I will fertilize that unwatered grass, and I will water your ass so that you go down in the soil and neutralize what you thought you were going to be. But I want to mention something Kyle said. Weeds in the garden, right? Every relationship has weeds. Every relationship has problems. Everything. Every type. Father, son, mother, daughter, boy, girl, boy, LGBT. Every relationship in the world is going to have issues. If it doesn't, that shit ain't real. If you ain't fought at least one time, it ain't real. If you ain't cried, snotted, farted, something, it ain't real. You gotta call it for what it is. Okay? Because look, in our group, we have some amazing people. And the group growth, oh my God, the group growth. See, growth takes time. Just like realizing that you're worth it takes time. And I think that's kind of where I want to end this. You want change just like that. Sometimes it's one thing. and I'm gonna say this so that everybody understands, not just the person I'm talking directly to. And you notice I haven't said his or her name because I'm not trying to call nobody out. I'm not trying to make nobody feel like it's just about you, because there are people that need to hear this shit. But I'm gonna tell you right now, there's two things I want to end with. One, in the morning, when you open your eyes and you're crusty and you're tired and your alarm clock done went off and you, oh Jesus, I don't want to get out the bed. I'm warm. I got CP. My legs on my right side of my butt. My legs on the left side of my butt. I can't feel my toes. You trying to roll out the bed and your feet hit the floor. Do me one favor. After you go to the bathroom to relieve yourself, because when I get up, I got to go. Whatever you got to do first, after you do that, go to your mirror and look and say something positive about yourself. Please. If we can stop this negative all the time, and you can turn it around with not just a positive thought, but positive action. It's so important. That's for the morning. But I teach my students this. I want to say this out loud. When you've had a rough day, my instructor when I was at Tiger Martial Arts told me this. One of my instructors. You have a bag that you carry. And it's an invisible bag that nobody can see. Every time you have an issue, put that issue in that bag. Close the bag up. Every time your boss says something you don't like, put it in the bag. Close the bag back up. Then you meet that, and then you stub your toe, you fall down 3-4 times, sprain your ankle, your knee, your ligaments. Therapy don't go right. Can't get the car to start. You just have a rough day at work. Put it in the bag. And then that person that tries to take what you got, tries to hurt you, tries to prevent you from going home, nothing is worth your life. Nothing. Open that bag up and let him have all that shit that you dealt with. Because when you unleash that bag that you hold in on him or her or them, they will know I picked the wrong one. But I also want to say this. Holding in thoughts and holding in emotion, holding in bad feelings, holding in stress, holding in terror, holding in anger, holding in all that stuff is dangerous.
It's a killer.
But I will say this. Holding your tongue and knowing when not to speak may save your life. I've had to deal with that past couple of days. I want to say this real quick. I'm so glad that both of y'all will be able to jump up here because y'all made this. I mean, it was good. I'm not saying what I didn't have was good, but this bounce between y'all two. Oh, Jesus. And that water to grab, boy.
Kyle's always got some good lines up in these.
That's like somebody that don't speak a lot, but when they speak, you're like, damn, that was powerful. Because I'll talk till the cows come home. But I try to make what comes out of my mouth powerful enough to help somebody or influence somebody. But I'm going to tell you, this has been a powerful hour and 15 minutes because I started by myself and I didn't know how it was going to go. And when Kyle said that last comment that he said, I was like, I got to bring him up here. And then you jumped up And you had been on because I saw that you missed a call. You're like, let me bring up here too. See if we can't get the three amigos in and we get a good time. But I want to thank you both because I think that so many people deal with this and they just push it away like it's not a big deal. Self-worth is not a big deal. It really is. I think self-worth is a key to being part of yourself and learning to love yourself first. Any closing thoughts, guys? I don't want to, I just kind of want to get you two before we go.
I mean, loving yourself first helps you love others better. But also, there's something that Charles said, when he was talking about his son, that like, I didn't see it. It didn't happen the way I saw it, but I wouldn't have it any other way. Sometimes we aren't able to see it because we need some glasses, and then it helps us find the right. And I'm like, we can't always see because we're so focused on in the moment. But sometimes we just need some glasses to show us the way. But we'll get there because I'm still trying to get. I mean, I don't want to make it sound like I have all the answers, all these cool little quotes and phrases. I'm still figuring it out. So
I don't think anybody has all the answers at all, but I think you hit a home run on that one. You ain't gonna deny me of that one, buddy.
Yeah, I would say I would echo the same. I mean, it's a journey for everybody, and it's something that takes time. And ideally, we never stop learning about ourselves and learning about our self-worth, because as we go through different phases in life, our purpose can change a little bit too. So that self-worth might look a little bit different, but that doesn't mean that it's not there.
Woo, my other two amigos, boy, I'm telling you. God dang.
You may call me my secretary. No, just
see, but that one gonna stick with me though. I'm gonna use that in my presidential speech when I run in 2024. If we trying to change the land, can we water the grass around the land we at before we try to move? I'm just saying that ain't mine. That's Mr. VP over there. Cause that one hit. That was good. Listen, thank y'all for being here. Y'all know I love you. I do want to read this comment that Charles put up here by Martin Luther King Jr. I like this. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. That right there is the true essence of life. And the end, I'm going to end on this. Kyle said something also very important about I never want to stop learning. I never want to stop growing. I never want to stop succeeding. See, in life, we have two choices. Get busy living or get busy dying. Because I'll tell you why. In life, when you stop learning, when you stop growing, but the worst thing you can do is stop trying. That's what eliminates you from the whole piece. Right there. And that's what this quote is about. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. I spent 15 years of my life trying to go back. I spent 15 years of my life trying to go back to where I used to be. And you know what happened when I got there?
You didn't like what you
found.
found.
Was gone. Everybody else went this way. I'm like, well, damn, y'all ain't telling me y'all were moving up. I expected everything to be the same. I wanted to go back to Waynesboro, move back home. Shit. It's lonely when you're by yourself, boy. Thought I had all my friends in Waynesboro. Oh, Jack. They done left. Went somewhere else.
Yeah, you can't live your life for your friends, really, because
Ooh.
You got to live it for you.
I'll bite into that pepperoni pizza. I'll tell you that right now. Listen, y'all be good. Y'all know what I say. If you can't be good, be bad, but be good at it. This is D to the J with the roll away. Real quick update. Last week in February, my CP launches. Hell, this might be the episode I launch right here because this one's a good one, and I think it needs to be maybe replayed a couple times, replastered on a couple of walls. Share this thing. Okay, if you know somebody out there that's struggling with who they are, who they need to be, with water in the grass in their lawn, they want to move over to the greener grass, go ahead and share this with them. And watch an hour and 20 minutes, learn something about yourself, learn something about somebody else, but mostly be true to yourself. Be true to yourself. That's all you got to do. You're good enough, but you got to start somewhere. Y'all be easy. Thanks so much. Y'all hang with me just a minute.